We are generally told that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You may seek, you may go all over the place seeking for the light or trying to make sense of this whole universe. But eventually, when you're ready, someone, an institution, or some insight comes in form of a teacher to take you to the higher level. And this is what happened to Christine, who was looking all over as books and info kept on coming into her direction and still groping and wondering where life was heading to, because to her, life was happening to her. She was just living as the day came. And that was not until she met Reverend Connie Phelps. Reverend Connie Phelps, the founder of CSL Kenya, that is Science Center for Spiritual Living Kenya, told her when they met that the church or the organization she was looking for was in the book she was holding in her hands. That's in Christine's hands. And the rest is history. Christine has since changed her life since she found Source of Mind, as she will tell us in this story, in this interview. Welcome. Hello, welcome again to another session of Conscious Conversation, and brought to you by Conscious Connections Africa. With me today is Christine, who is going to tell us a lot about herself. And as far as I know, Christine is one of the first or original members of CSL Kenya. And she's here with us to tell us a story briefly and also what she's doing currently. So welcome, Christine. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Christine Khamasi, and I'm so happy and excited to be here. Yes.
Yes, when I joined the Science of Mind about 5 years ago during the conference, you are among the first people who were, at that time during the conference, you became Science of Mind practitioners. Later on, we'll talk about who is a Science of Mind practitioner, but you are among the people who received that position. I mean, you graduated into being practitioners. And some of us who are joining at that time were wondering what's all this about. But you can tell us briefly how you came to Science of Mind. And we know you're also a ministerial student. We'll discuss about that briefly. But how did you find science? How did you find Science of Mind?
I think Science of Mind found me because I've been reading books, and through these books, I was able to. I was on a journey, like when we discovered the secret. Then during those times. And then I started reading books, and books were finding me, especially because of my education background. Everybody wanted to bring me books. And when I was reading these books, I was like, there's something in these books that it's more like it is something that I don't even understand. So through reading the books, one day I met a lady called Becky Rogers from the US, and she started teaching me about conscious and about spiritual living, which it wasn't making sense. I really wanted to connect with it, but it was not making sense. So one day she brought me a book about getting rich with Napoleon Hill. And then I was on a journey. I really wanted to discover more. So one day I went to Bible school, and there's this teacher. Her name was Reverend Paula Lanquith, and Paula Lanquith, and she brought me a book by Ernest Holm, like the Creative Thinking magazine books. Okay. So when I started reading that book, I realized that there's something I really wanted. So just in between, I was introduced to Connie with Days for Girls, and we were going to do a project called Days for Girls with some Britain School. And then then I was holding this book called Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill. So when we are done the Days for Girls training, I asked Connie, you call yourself Reverend Connie. So where is your church? And she said, my church is that book you are holding in the hand. And that was my turning point.
Okay.
That was my turning point. That is how I discovered the science of mind.
And you discovered Connie, you said. Who was Connie?
Reverend Connie was a minister with the science of mind, and she was living in Kenya. So that day we had known each other through Days for Girls. But now I discovered her now through the science of mind, because then we started a journey with her to enroll in a class and now to start learning about the science of mind principle, the classes and everything.
Okay. So when you started hearing about science of mind, when you first met that first lady, I mean, the lady you met first, and things were not making sense. What was not making sense?
The terminology, like the language they were using, like consciousness, infinite, higher self. Those are some of the things that they were not making sense to me. But now when I joined the class with Reverend Connie, we were able to sit down, and that is when I started learning about, now it is making sense.
Making a lot of sense. And how would you say, with all that making sense and so on, how would you say, from the time you had science of mind up to now, how would you say you have developed, or it has helped you in your development?
It has really helped me because we usually say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So when the teacher appeared, it has really made sense, because now I've been able to understand the language, how it works, and what I need to do, me as a person, because it is all about change your thinking, change your life. So it has really been able to change how I used to look at things, how I see things, and also to listen to my body. What is it telling me? Is it aligning with what I'm doing? So I would say it has really helped me a lot.
Okay. So would there be areas in your life which you think have been have really changed, either you personally or with your family, since you joined something you can not really touch, but you can give an example
I would say like my life personally has really changed, because before I knew about the science of mind, I was living. I was just living, like I was just living. But when I understood the science of mind, I wanted to make that change. Like I really wanted to make that change. I didn't just want to live. I really wanted to live the life. Like to live, like life is for the living. So I really wanted to live the life is for the living. So
you wanted to be
I
alive.
started, yes, and I realized that whatever I wanted was within me. It wasn't outside there. So I really needed to make the change, like to align myself, to align with what I want, not just wishful thinking, but to connect. Yeah, and that is when it when it made sense. Like God is not outside there; God is within me. So how do I connect with myself, with the higher God? How do I connect with God? So, and because God is within me, if I align myself with this God within me, not looking for the answers from outside there, things started shifting. Things started shifting, and I started seeing the kind of life I wanted to live, by visioning it, by feeling it, by connecting with it. And then my business with Days for Girl started. Things started happening. And now I was not struggling with whatever I was doing. I was aligning myself with what was my life purpose. And I realized I'm living now what I wanted to live.
That's great. Earlier on, you said before that you are just living, but now you are making life. It's like you are now creating your own life rather than having life find you.
Yes.
You are consciously creating the world that you want to live, not just living the world as you find it, and being, being a victim of things that are happening to you rather than you activating those things to happen, isn't it?
Yes.
That's how you can put it. Yes.
Yes.
So you have been mentioning, since we started, you have been mentioning Days for Girls. What is all about and how are you involved?
Days for Girls is an organization that serves the girl. Like at Days for Girls simply means more days for girls to stay in school during their menses. So that is an organization I started working with, and it's changing the lives of the girl. So it has also helped me to change my thinking. As I change the life of this girl, I'm also changing not only them having more days in school, but as they stay in school, what are they really staying in school to do? Because they need to change their thinking also. So it has given me a platform to reach them and make a difference, just not only with the pads, but mainly Days for Girls is a sanitary towel that it is washable, and it gives a girl more day to stay in school during that time. Yes. And because I want to change their story, that is the moment where we connect. It is a platform where we connect and we talk more as girls. Where do we want to see ourselves? Yes. And what are the barriers? Like, what are the barriers that stop us from getting from point A to point B? So when they say, like, most of the time we miss school, that is now where we have a conversation.
Okay. So how did you come about? How did Days for Girls all start? Were you invited to it, or did you create the Days for Girls organization, or how are you connected to it personally?
So Days for Girls, I was a victim. Like, I was a victim who was affected by menses, not having something to manage my period. It really affected me. And then, as we say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So one day somebody came to Kenya, and she was really looking for somebody who can talk about the journey of menstruation. How does it look like for a girl in Kenya? And then it happened that I was that girl. Like, she was connected with me, and we talked. So when we talked, she went back to the US, and she was able to take me to Uganda to go and study about the Days for Girls, and that is how I got to know more about what they do and what was required of me now as an ambassador. So that is how I learned. And the reason why they choose on me, we were many women, but the reason why they choose on me is because I was willing to talk about it, because menstruation is a taboo that in our African society, we don't want to talk about it. So out of the 10 women, I was the one willing to talk about it freely without feeling the shame. And at Days for Girls, it is all about breaking the shame, breaking the taboo, so that we can reach this girl. So that is how I got to know about it.
So, you do give the pads, and how has your work at Days for Girls changed? Because you started it before you joined Science of Mind, and then you joined Science of Mind while you're doing it. So has your knowledge and principle of Science of Mind, how have they helped in improving what you do in Days for Girls?
It has changed because now I don't focus on the organization as the one who are supposed to support me. I focus on God within to connect me with the right people who are going to buy the pads, so that I can reach out to the girls, to the more girls. So for me, I would say it has really supported me, because when the organization decided that it is not going to promote us, It is not going to give us the funding and everything. I believe, because I had started my journey with the science of mind, and I believed in the possibilities of God within and connected to the source, not to the resource. Because now the resource was cut off, but the source, which is God, it is still overflowing. So for me, it is the mindset that has really really supported me. Yeah.
Was there a reason for the resource cutting from where you're getting it?
I think the reason was the founder stepped down. So when the founder stepped down, she was the one who had the vision. She was the one who had the vision and the mission of Days for Girls. So when she stepped down, I think, when you are the vision of something, if you step down, the person who steps in doesn't carry
the same vision.
Yeah, but for me, it was really good because now I was already connected to this teaching, and I knew the resource will not, the source, which is God, never dries. So even if the resource dries, yeah.
So what you're saying is that without science of mind, and when the funding stops, then the project in Kenya would have dropped.
Yeah, for me, I think that is,
yeah,
for me, I think for me, if I had not known about the science of mind, I think everything would have dried, because most of my colleagues, they have even closed their enterprises because they only believed until they were connected to the resource.
Okay. Okay. Now I've seen some of your videos and some of your photographs on when you're doing this work on Days for Girls, and I can see in the groups there are also boys. Why are boys there? It's supposed to be a girls' affair, but I can see in a classroom hall there are some boys there also. Can you explain that?
Yeah, the reason why we have the boys, it is because in our African setup, mostly even in the government, and when they are making a decision, men are the only people who are called to make these decisions. And for the girls, the girls who are menstruating, the government and the men and the community, they will not make a good decision if they don't have people who understand what the girls are going through. And mostly we have hidden. The issue of menstruation is hidden, like it is a taboo, it is shameful. Yes. We are not supposed to talk about this. Yes. So the boys who are working with this in the production, in the training, now they are they have a big picture why it is why it's shameful, why we need to support our girls, and all those kind of things. So we are working together so that we can be in a good place to break the taboos, to break the shame, and for them to understand menstruation is not dirty. It is just something that it is healthy. It becomes dirty when a girl doesn't know, and even the boys don't know about it. So most of the time when we go to the schools, we go with the boys so that they can teach girls, like it is safe to talk about period, because I am a boy, I may be your brother, I will become a husband, I will have daughters, and I want someone to treat my daughter with dignity. So that is the reason why we are working with the boys.
That's very good. And I think a lot of boys through the program have really changed their way of thinking. Is totally different from either their elder brothers or their uncles or their fathers.
Yes, yes.
You also have this thing in about women where they grow. Can you? And I understand you have them in growing, in farming. I don't know. I don't really get it, but I know you have a group for women, and you're teaching them quite a lot. Maybe you can talk about that now.
Yeah, these women, we call them the women of power. The women of power. So, yeah, the women of power. So the women of power, we are doing with them a program called I Can Change My Story. So by I Can Change My Story, that is where now we teach them how to plant the vegetables, because most of these women, some of them, they are not educated. So they can only understand in the perspective of, this is the soil, which is my mind. This is the seeds, which are my thoughts. And this is the vegetable, which are the demonstration. So for them, you have to do it practically by showing them practically. So we have a time where we choose all kind of seeds, kales, carrots, potatoes, everything. So a woman will come in and say, I want to plant carrots or potatoes, and then she will take it. So with the time, we will go back and then they will plant them, and then we will go back and see. So when they are doing that, it's not only about the vegetable, it is about their own story. What do I want to change? So, and also the garden tower is a must for them to have one, so that they eliminate going to the market every now and then. And then the money they have been using to buy vegetables every time, they can use it to buy like maybe bread, milk, other things. And with that, it has really helped them even to come with more ideas. Like, you mean in a small place like this, I can also plant carrot, I can plant spring onion, I can also plant coriander. So the excitement is what makes it good. And then when we say, like, can we also plant something in our mind? What ideas do you have? So that is how it has been happening with the women. And I'm so happy because now there are those even who have planted more vegetables. They have started small business of even cooking chapatis. And yeah, because they can sell the vegetables and use it to do something else.
So how many women are you working with or a part of that program?
In Western, I have around, there are more than 100. With 7 communities, more than 100 in 7 communities, because we are working with 7 communities.
So do they,
yeah, but
is there a center they come for learning, or you actually do it on the ground, or what happens?
Yeah, they have been coming on the ground like once in a month. I go there and then we have a meeting. But now we have a center because sometimes it would start training and then we would hire the tents. But right now we have a center. We call it Ebenezer Resource Center. So at Ebenezer now they can come at any time, even if I'm not there. They will write their names and which community they are coming from and what they want. So if they want a garden tower, somebody's on the ground, they'll just come put their names down and they'll be given a garden tower. And at the resource center, we are giving them garden towers where they can plant vegetables. We are giving them a hot sack. A hot sack is a bucket where if you cook in the morning, like we are trying to make the work of the women easier. So if you cook your food early in the morning with the remaining firewood, you'll be able to cook lunch and you'll put it in the hot sack. So in the hot sack by lunchtime, the food will still be hot. So when the mama has gone to do their own things, they don't have to worry about coming back to make sure that the husband gets warm food or the children. So they'll just cook and put the food on the table and the plates. So you'll just come and serve yourself. And also we are doing a program called I Grow With My Tree. So I Grow With My Tree. It helps the women plant their own trees where they can harvest some of the trees for the firewood, but mostly it is for when the child is growing. I grow with my tree. When the child is growing, the tree is also growing. So by the time they are getting into Form 1 or college or university, the tree is big enough they can cut it and use the money to do their whatever they need to do. So we are also showing them how to plan for the future.
And they plant in their own chambers?
Yeah, they plant in their own chambers.
Okay. So is it just for women, or is it even for young girls or anybody who may be interested to come and learn about the soil, the seed, and the plant?
The soil, the seed is for everybody, but for the tree, we want the children who are in PP1, PP2, class 1 and 2, because when they are growing, the tree is growing. Because for the elderly, but for the ones, like for me now, the ones that I planted for my children when they were in class 1, now they are big enough, they can cut if they want, like they have their own trees, it is big, they can cut.
So they plant a tree for each child, or maybe 2 trees for a child, or how does it work?
No. We give 20 trees for every child. 20 trees for every child, because there are some, because for the 20, not all of them will survive, but at least we want around 12, 15 trees to be
And I think
there.
I think the kids must be very proud of their trees. They tend them and they watch them grow.
Yeah, they are very good because now they are the owners of the tree. So during the dry season, they'll make sure they water it, like they have that connection with the tree. But for me, I know it is a healing place. Like when they are doing whatever they are doing with the tree, it brings a lot of peace. It brings a lot of ownership. When
Yes.
this is mine.
Yeah.
And they take
You take
care
care
of
of it
it.
completely.
Yeah, and also for the family, for the shed and everything. And when they come to my place and they see the trees that I planted for my children when they were young, and now the trees are big, and it gives them the motivation, like, why not? Yeah.
Okay. So you joined Science of Mind almost more than 10, 15 years ago. You are still there. You are a practitioner. When I came 5 years ago to Science of Mind, you are getting your practitionership. Now we know you are in the ministerial class, which means you are in a few years' time you'll be among the first Kenyan ministers for Science of Mind. Can you talk about that? How you got the interest and why you thought you would or you should be a minister?
Actually, the reason why I wanted to join a ministerial class is because I really wanted a place where I can keep learning. Because as I grew in Som, I knew that my healing wasn't just for the ministry, and I just didn't want the title minister. In fact, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not really interested in a pulpit minister. Mine is just to be like to understand more, like the title is just sacred. It's just not a calling to serve, but just to know what is required of me. Actually, I'm a Catholic. I would just say I'm a Catholic, and when I'm in Western Kenya, I serve mostly in my parish. And I would just wanted to be in a place where how am I required, like, to act, like to show the difference, because people want to see that difference from inside. How are you talking to people? How are you doing your things? So my ministerial journey, I think mostly I'll serve with the women who are going through menopause, because right now I'm dealing with the girls who are in their menses. But mostly I would want to serve with the women who are dealing with menopause. We are dealing with all those kind of things, but not really a pulpit minister. That is what I would want to say. But I chose this path because I really, really wanted to go deeper and deeper into this journey.
Okay. Yeah. And I think when you say you don't want to be a pulpit, okay, your intention is not to be a pulpit minister. It's quite understandable because I don't think, or rather, let me put it this way: a minister who is what you call a pulpit minister is usually busy 24/7. He doesn't just prepare for the day of the service to give the service, but you are there seeing your people, praying for them, and so on and so forth. And also, as we know, Sense of Mind is quite, it brings all the spiritual knowledge together. It's not a particular religion where you can stick and say, I'm this and therefore I can't do that, so long as the principles are honored. So that's very interesting. It's been a very interesting conversation to have with you today. And it's also interesting to see that life is not happening to you. You are happening to life by following and creating, because you know it is you. Your life is created by your thoughts, by your deeds. And it's not just happening like you said, you are just living it. Life is living you, I should say. So would you like have the final word to our viewers, the final shot before we close this session?
Yeah, thank you so much to our viewers. What I would want to say is that the Science of Mind teaches us about new thoughts, and you can begin again. You can begin again, no matter where you are. You can start now. Your mind is a powerful tool. Your mind is actually a powerful tool. So when you learn how to use your mind, and when you learn that the world is creative and you are a creator, it is a beautiful place to be. So at Science of Mind, we say creative thinking, creative thoughts. And like for me, I didn't understand these languages, but when I learned that I can use my mind as the soil and I can plant anything that I want, which are the seed, the ideas, that was my turning point, and my life has really changed. We usually say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. My teacher appeared through books. And when I started reading the books, I was getting prepared, like I was preparing the mind. And when Reverend Connie came, the land was already
ready,
prepared. Yeah, and the seed, it was easy for the seed to, yes. So I'm happy. And this is a place. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christine. It was a pleasure, listening to your story and also learning one or two things from you. And it's true. Many people out there are just existing. They're just living, but without a life. But through Science of Mind, we learn how to be alive, because each thought, each word, we know it's affecting something in our life, and therefore we have to choose properly so that we can have a proper life. So thank you very much. And it's been nice hearing from you and being with you this half an hour. Until then, we meet again in the classes or in the corridors. All the best and God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah.